Hey guys, subscribe for daily knife content. And if you're shopping for knives and gear, make sure you check out the description of the video you're watching right now for links to some great online retailers. There's also individual links for knives that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I wanted to share with you guys an up-close look of some of the new 2021 models from Kershaw and ZT that I found really interesting. If you haven't watched the upload that I did this morning where I had a conversation with Jim McNair, I would suggest you go do that. They were kind enough to let me look through their 2021 catalog and pick out some stuff that I thought was interesting, stuff that I wanted to look at. This is all going to go back to them, by the way. They were kind enough to let me do that and then have a discussion with one of their designers. I really appreciated that. Thank you so much, Kai USA, ZT, and Kershaw. That was really cool. They sent me a few things, and these are the ones that stood out. Now, I know you guys are wondering, those of you who are familiar with the new releases for ZT, you're thinking, you're missing one. Why don't you have the 0990 out there? I would love to show you guys that one. They were short on samples, and that's perfectly fine. But I do have two of the newer ones here that I want to talk about. So I'm going to give you guys kind of a close-up look, because when we were doing that video, it was a Zoom call, and the definition wasn't perfect, and I thought some people might appreciate a closer look at some of these things. This is not a review. Reviews will come down the road, full comprehensive reviews and my thoughts on each model, but I just wanted to kind of show you guys these, give you guys something to look at. And a lot of these I think these are all available for pre-order right now, so I will link those right down in the description if you guys are interested in picking these up as soon as they are available. Thanks so much to my generous patrons for supporting me right now. If you'd like to check out my Patreon, there's a link right down in the description. And please follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. Let's go ahead and take a look at the ZTs first. I think that's probably what a lot of my audience wants to look at. So this is the Zero Tolerance 0762. I'm just going to give you guys some real basic information here. Flipping action is great. It is very snappy. The detent is tuned very well. You can see it's got a nice low profile flipper tab back here. This is extremely lightweight considering it's nearly an 8-inch knife. I think this is 8 inches, just about, maybe 7.9 inches overall. And it comes in at at least by my scale, 2.85 ounces. We have carbon fiber. Underneath here, we have these blue parts are titanium, and then there's a steel liner in there. Then we have a titanium sort of sub-frame lock, titanium pocket clip, right? Steel on this guy is CPM 20 CV, so nice steel. It has the tuned detent system, or TDS. So essentially, and we'll talk more about this, when I do a review on it, doesn't matter where you put your fingers. If you've got pressure on the lock bar, considering it's a fairly narrow frame, if your fingers are resting on the lock bar, it's still going to flip, which is something I think is really cool. That's frustrating. Anybody who's just destroyed your finger on a flipper tab before, when you don't realize your fingers are bearing down on the lock bar and you go and that feeling right there, I'm sure you guys can feel that with me, right? Doesn't matter on this guy. It's going to flip. I think that's really cool. Blade shape is very interesting. We have this sort of, line right here. There's belly, and then there's a dramatic change in the angle. And this blade is not thick up on the spine, very thin at the edge. This is definitely going to be a performance slicer. Anybody who's interested in stuff like that. Basically, if you're really into ratios and balance, right, maximizing the amount of usable cutting edge for the the overall weight, right? If you're really big into those types of ratios, that thing is awesome. I think people are really going to like that. The other one here, the one that I'm really excited about, this is not a new model. This is the ZT 0308, but the color scheme on this guy is just wonderful. Something I commented on when I handled the 0308 initially is that I really would like to see one that's black, and they did that. It's the same 0308, and it has a tiger stripe blade, which I think is really cool. I mean, I know some people, it's not your thing. I think this is awesome. I love this. Anybody who's not familiar with the 0308, this is a big beast of a knife. Absolutely a huge knife, but you still manage to get a nice thin edge down here because of the way that they ground the blade. I love the overall look of this. I think this looks amazing. I love the texturing, nice and contoured, right? Black titanium on the other side. This is really, really cool. Personally, I think this is my favorite thing that they, out of everything that they've released for 2021. Check that out. Ready? Look at the action. Man, super cool. I really like that, and I think a lot of people are pretty excited about that one. So check that link if that's something you want to pick up. We'll do more, like I said, more details when I actually do the individual reviews on these guys. Next up, there's a ton of stuff for Kershaw, and a lot of it's pretty cool. Something I think is, people will really find interesting is they've got a lot more stuff that's in D2 on, as far as like some of their more inexpensive knives go. They've got a lot more D2. At least that's what I'm seeing. And I like D2. I think D2 is going to translate really well. This guy is actually not in D2, but the reason I thought it was cool is because it's kind of a sliding. This is an OTF. It's just not an automatic OTF, right? You have this little deal right here. It sort of locks in. It's not going to move unless you push down and then forward, and then it locks into place up there, right? We've got a little, it's like a bayonet ground blade. There we go. And you can see here, this guy is 8CR13 MOV. Keep in mind, guys, these are samples that have been used or probably handled by other people. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you these came absolutely brand new. So if you pick one up, little things like some of maybe the blemishes and things like that, I don't know what that's been used for, but your experience might vary a little bit. But yeah, I thought this was really cool. And this is going for people who really want to, basically just have more of the OTF experience. I know there's a lot of people out there who love the idea of an OTF, but they're just, generally automatic in nature. And you might not be able to carry it where you live. And a lot of them tend to be really large. With this guy coming in much smaller, the blade length, in fact, I'll measure it here just so you guys know. Oh, where's my measuring tape? There it is. Let me move these guys up here just for a second. Blade length on this guy is not very long. Yeah, it's actually coming in absolutely under 2 inches. So that solves a lot of issues for a lot of people, and this is fun. This has its own type of fidget factor, and Jim McNair is quick to point out that they didn't invent this. This isn't something they're trying to claim like they came out of this. No, but it is cool. It's a nice little dagger profile. It is easy to hang on to, right? And honestly, I'm somebody who likes fidget factor. I could sit and do this all day. It's just fun, right? And it's going to do the job. ATR13 MOV. It's just fine. A lot of people, I'm sure, there's different steels you might want to see, but I think 8CR13 MOV is just fine. And this is just neat. It's a fun little conversation piece, and this guy isn't going to be very expensive. I can't tell you exactly what the prices are going to be right now because you're going to see retail and then you're going to see whatever the street price is. And I have no idea. I'm not here to speak on price. I just wanted to give you guys a closer look. This is definitely one that stood out to me, and it's one that we talked about. If you want to go back and watch that video I did with Jim, it's one that we talked about fairly extensively, so pretty cool. Pocket clip on it is interesting, and it does carry ultra deep. You could attach this to your keys if you wanted. Kind of a heavy object to, put on your keys, but that's fine. If you're like me, your keys have a bunch of stuff. Maybe your keys are heavy anyway, right? But either way, if you want to carry it like a simple pocket knife or you want to attach it to something, that's fine. I just thought it was really cool. And it does lock out. Pretty neat. I like this a lot. Thought it was cool. The other one that really caught my eye was the Highball XL. This is cool. This is going to end up being a pretty inexpensive knife. This is going to be D2. There you go, right there. And it's running on bearings. This is a steel frame lock. It is very, very smooth. Because of this area in here, it's very easy to engage wheeling it out, right? Whether you're somebody who likes to put their thumb down here, you're somebody who wants to do more of a flick like this, or if you like to do the reverse flick, it's very friendly. Very satisfying getting that type of fidget factor, and just ease of manipulation with this guy is really good. He pointed out it does have this over travel stop, and it does give you a little bit more room to put your fingers on there if you need like a bracing point and then to actually just wheel it out. It's kind of nice. It's not quite the same thing as the TDS on the ZT, right? But it's incredibly easy to manipulate, and people can get this type of experience that is sometimes exclusive to higher price tiers, right? You can have this experience in a knife for much less. I think people are going to be happy with the blade profile. It's very thin behind the edge. Ergonomics are great. The pocket clip is really good, right? And yeah, I think people are going to be really happy with the price point on this guy and what it is. This is a really, really cool knife. I never handled the Highball, the standard one, but this is just about perfect for my hands. It's not huge, but it's not a small knife. I feel like maybe the original highball might be a little bit too small. I really, really like this one. So, guys, that's pretty much it. This is just meant as a quick overview of some of the models that I thought were really interesting from their catalog. They do have a lot of cool stuff in there. I think, stuff that might pique, some people's interest in one direction or another. I thought this stuff specifically was really cool, but check that stuff out. I will, like I said, when I link what's all coming, it'll show all of that stuff. So you guys will still be able to check out like the ZT0990 and the other items that are coming for Kershaw in 2021. So I'd invite you to check those links out. And stay tuned for reviews on this stuff here within the next few weeks. But yeah, I think that's pretty much going to be it today. I hope you guys found this at least mildly entertaining. If you were curious about some of this stuff, please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.